Good morning to everyone from sunny Casablanca, and welcome to the next installment of our Digital Insider Africa Coffee Chat series. My name is Joe Goshi, and I am the General Manager of Liferay in Africa, and I'm very happy to welcome every single one of you who is on this call with us today. I'm also very excited to welcome not just one, but two speakers from our Liferay community for today's coffee chat. And so welcome, Vineet Dahia. Glad to have you.
Hi.
And a special welcome to Jolt Balo. Glad to have you today.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Well, today we will be speaking about the key differences between our free Liferay portal community edition and the enterprise version Liferay DXP. You know, as you seek to roll out business critical solutions for your customers, you may have some questions around which one of these two should we use. And so our goal today is to talk through both and to explain why DXP is most likely the better choice when it comes to those mission critical projects that you may have. You know, a lot of people still mistakenly think that support for DXP is the only differentiator between the two. But there's so much more to consider. And so I look forward to hearing from these two gentlemen about what those differentiators are. And that's why we've indeed invited these two experts on this topic. And so we have Vineet, the co-founder and executive director of InfoAxon, a Liferay Gold partner, and Jolt, who is the general manager for Liferay Eastern Europe, and also the founder of Liferay's regional headquarters in Budapest, to join us today and to guide us in our chat as we navigate this topic. For everyone who's out there, just some housekeeping. Before we start, we would like to let you know that all attendees are in listen-only mode. If you have any questions during the presentation, we invite you to please type them in the chat box on the right-hand side of your screen. And at the end of the session, we will have a short Q&A. And if I might even ask right now, if you would go ahead and just type a chat message to let us know where you're dialing in from in that chat box right now, that would be great, just to make sure that that functionality is working for you. But also, please use that chat box later on for our Q&A. This coffee chat is being recorded, and we will send you the link to the recording within the next few days. So now, without further ado, I hand over the mic to Jolt. Jolt, please run with things.
Thank you so much, and thank you for joining. I'm calling in from the sunny Budapest. I guess it's not so sunny as Casablanca, but it's quite a good weather here. You might be wondering why I'm presenting here as the General Manager of Liferay Central and Eastern Europe. And actually, the reason is because I'm really enthusiastic about the topic, as I have shared, because I was working with both sides. And let me show you this picture first. So I am the guy on the right with the white shirt 10 years ago, actually it's 12 years ago. And you can see that I desperately needed some fashion advice back then. And in front of me is Brian Chung, the CEO of Liferay. This is 2009, and I have been working for a small company, and we have been providing Liferay Portal CE versions to some customers here in Hungary. And we actually built up the knowledge, and we worked a lot with the community members, and I really enjoyed doing more and more and helping. But also we became the translators of the Hungarian language, and all. We have done that. So I can thank my past decade to the community and the community edition of Liferay Portal project. And this is the most important software which I have worked with. And when we have started, Liferay Seas presents from working on the open source project, we have been able to make a lot of projects to go live. It's a long story how we have done this, and today I'm here to share my experience with you, what we have done in the past decade. So let me quickly summarize when Liferay Portal C is good. So the benefit is that if you have a small project, a small company where you don't have big reliability needs, then you can simply deploy Liferay Portal CE, where your revenues are not depending on the customer data and the availability of the system. That's perfectly fine to use. It's also good to build open source projects on top of Liferay. For example, the Software 360 is also built on top of Liferay Portal. It's a really great technology, and it's also good for you to test projects like, is Liferay Portal or is it Liferay DXP a good solution for my problem? I can really recommend to use that. There's one key area also which I wanted to mention is that if you want to have the bleeding edge latest functionality, you should go with Liferay Portal CE, because this is where we develop our latest software, and this is how we are basically getting the feedback to provide a really good quality features in our Liferay DXP. So let me switch to Liferay DXP and share where it is good and why it is recommended in what areas. So we recommend Liferay DXP for business critical use cases. So when you need to have the data available at all times, and also when the data which you are hosting is critical for your company or for your customers' company. There are several benefits of having Liferay DXP, and these are the differentiators from Liferay Portal to Liferay DXP. For example, you can do bulk asset management. You have a workflow designer where you can, on a graphical interface, you can design a workflow, and you also have better identity management tools together with headless CMS. You can work on personalized campaigns and targeted content using Liferay Analytics, and with that, you can actually choose which target group should see which pages and what type of content, which is really good marketing opportunity. As Liferay has started as an integration platform, we are also helping you not to be vendor logged in. So basically you can run Liferay on anything, and our actually pricing is based on a per instance model, which is a great benefit because you can actually have as many users as your system can serve. We also have some other useful tools which you can see on my slide, which can actually make the Liferay DXP more useful for your company. Liferay DXP is a quite integrated suite of business tools. So here I'm showing an example where using Dxp and Analytics Cloud, basically you can run A/B testing. So you can test what type of content is better for your users based on the information. And you don't need to worry about setting this up, integrating new software into your system. This is what we are providing you if you are using those tools from Liferay. When we have founded Liferay Hungary, which is the headquarters for CE, 10 years ago, we have started to provide the EMEA support. And so I can share a lot of information about support, and I was actually driving the technical support team for the past 5 years. So what is crucial for a lot of big corporations nowadays is that we are providing support for a single version for 7 years from the release time. It's a really long time in enterprise software, and we actually need to work really hard on keeping the support teams all the knowledge to support a 7-year-old technology and the latest technology as well. We also ensure that when we are fixing a problem in an older version, it gets fixed in the latest version, because we don't want you to have problems if you are upgrading, if our customers are upgrading. We have two level of subscriptions available, gold or platinum level, and we also have a consultant team who can assist you with migrations. Together with the support, software updates are also included, so you can choose to update anytime. And I'm really happy to share that we have really good customer satisfaction on support. So even during the pandemic, we had more than 96% of customer satisfaction. And in 3 months last year, we actually hit 100% customer satisfaction in the EMEA team. We are also really strong on providing a full life cycle of support. So when you, and most probably our customers, developers are contacting our support team, you are not talking to help desk. You are talking to people who do understand the product, and our teams together can fix the problems. Who are sitting together, not right now in the office, but normally in the office, can actually fix the bugs for you, so they don't need to escalate the issues further to the engineering teams. And as I told you, I was working on support, so I can share how complex it is to provide that. And on this slide, I want to show you that if you don't have these tools available for you, because, for example, you are using Liferay CE, you need to do this by yourself. Of course, in a little bit smaller scale, and not all of these, but we are providing these as part of Liferay DXP. So when an issue is reported, we are reproducing it, and then we are also verifying that it can be reproduced in the latest version, and then we are fixing the issue. So normally this is how far we would think about support, but we are also generating a hotfix, so it will be easier for you to install, and you don't need to worrying about compiling the code and deploying it somehow. We provide testing, very extensive testing for the hotfixes, so they have no regression, so we're not breaking anything. And then we have a code review, and then the engineering lead is having a code review, and then we test it on more than 2,000 servers to ensure that it is good quality. And then each and every line of code is reviewed by our chief software architect, and you might know Brian Chen. And then the code is tested by the engineering QA, and it's analyzed. And then we start the backporting process, which might happen 4 or 5 times. And here, during this process, we are also analyzing for backward compatibility, and we run thousands of tests before we are releasing this code in a fixed pack, which is available for all of our customers. So I showed a hotfix example in the beginning because I wanted to show you that there's a fast way. So if you have a critical problem and with a low risk of regressions, you can get fixed very easily. But if you would like to have all the assurances which we put into fixed pack, then you can actually rely on our monthly fixed pack releases. Regarding DXP, we also have legal assurance safeguards for our customers against claims of intellectual property infringement related to open source code, IP claims, copyright, trademarks, and patents. What is also oversight a lot of times is that we provide access to our university, which provides all the necessary knowledge for your teams on how to extend our DXP solution. We also give access to Liferay customer portal, and there we are building up a really good knowledge base, which contains the answer for hundreds of issues right away. Lately, I've been talking at a conference about how great our resolution rate without opening a ticket. So I can really recommend looking in the knowledge base. Security is getting more and more important nowadays. I guess you're also reading all the articles, or if you or your organization already cares a lot about security. So for Liferay DXP, we are providing security issue fixes, and rapid notifications for our customers, and those are available in form of patches, so they can be installed quickly. So security vulnerabilities are not open for long, and we can address them as fast as possible. And if you would like to trust Liferay more, and if you would like to work less on deploying a platform and you would like to focus on your business, we would really like to recommend Liferay DXP Cloud as well. Liferay DXP Cloud is a platform as a service which provides you a development pipeline. So when your developers are starting to extend Liferay, they don't need to work, and they don't need to figure out how will I give permission to the developers on the production system, or for the DevOps engineers on the production system, how we will separate the UAT and then the production environment. We also provide a CI, so when you're deploying code, we are compiling it on the cloud, and you don't need to worry about it. Liferay DXP Cloud also offers auto-scaling. So when you set certain thresholds and they are met, then Liferay can automatically scale without you worrying about it. And we're also providing monitoring, including Dynatrace access, where you can really look into the problems. We also have a 24/7 response team, and then we can ensure that the infrastructure behind your DXP is running and working well. And of course, as every platform as a service system, we are running the backups for you, so you don't need to worry about it. So this is what I wanted to share, because these are the topics which I'm not knowledgeable of. And I wanted to introduce you Vineet Dahiya. He is the director and co-founder of InfoAxon, and he has over 20 years of experience working with open source technologies, and he comes with a lot of experience in both community and DXP versions and how customers are managing these projects. So welcome, Vineet, and let me hand the presentation to you.
All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks all for this wonderful presentation. It's always refreshing to go to a presentation every time. And thanks for that presentation. So let me just quickly go forward. First, I'd like to just introduce our company a little bit, what we are doing as an organization. And then we'll quickly move on to the topic of our today's coffee chat. So just to, in a nutshell, explain what we do. We help our businesses create digital, we help our customers create digital businesses by leveraging the best of open source platforms and technologies. And our main differentiator is that we create vertical specific platforms for our customers using these technologies. So our partnership with Liferay has been very strong, and it's been more than 12 plus years for us now. And we started working with Liferay when it was started as a community project. And our teams quickly realized that this is an excellent piece of software and become a part of that community. And from there, we have traveled the entire distance, where we are now one of the gold partners and a deep skill partner of Liferay across Africa, US, and India. We have delivered several large-scale platforms for our customers. We have delivered insurance platforms for our financial services customers who are looking for lending, providing lending solutions through digital, and also helping our manufacturing customers create a platform where they could engage not only their customers, but also their dealers and a network of their partners. We have been fortunate to be part of some of the largest implementation of Liferay world over. And many of our case study and testimonials have been published along with Liferay, and we are proud to be partners with Liferay in India, Africa, and US. So now, quickly coming back to the topic which we are discussing today is about our understanding of Liferay CE project versus DXP as a platform. Our experience has been, Liferay Community Edition is an excellent piece of software. There's some great engineering which has gone into this project, and you would see some really good capabilities coming out very quickly year on year with this software. But having said that, it is good to use Liferay CE Community Edition for building your proof of concepts and making sure that you get the right management approvals in place, and you get all those budgets approved. And mostly it is for the non-mission critical, as Alt has also mentioned. It is mainly for your non-mission critical requirements, because what we have also realized when we were working with Liferay community project, that it is very difficult to scale and create referenceable success stories. Generally, the projects we were doing on community edition used to be work in progress for quite some time. Because you were busy patching up things which were either not there in the community edition, or they were required by our customers. So we were always, either developing things which were already available in the DXP version. Also, our experience has been you really need to incubate, the customers need to incubate an open source team if they really want to go ahead with the Liferay CE, because with just few developers who are not accustomed to open source way of developing, packaging and distribution of software, they would find it really hard to work in that environment, and they would not be able to provide you the flexibility and the agility required with this open source project. And last but not the least, and very important, what we have realized is with community edition, there's always a conflict happening between the business and the technical teams. So the business would always look at any project from the point of view of when are they getting it, how fast are they getting it, are they able to quickly create the differentiator in the market. Whereas the technical team working on the community software, they were always busy either fixing bugs or making sure that they are completing the functionalities which were not available end to end, and they always provide the technical justification of why the projects are not happening on time and in budget. So the business and technical teams we have seen always have a lot of conflict in terms of going forward. Now, our experience, what are the key deciding factors? We believe that support, security and upgrade, and turnaround time, these are the critical factors apart from others which an organization should use to decide whether they really want to continue working on a community edition or not. So what we have seen is when you're starting a project on community edition, it's not just the Liferay CE software, it is the entire stack that you have to support. So suddenly the team will get overwhelmed with a lot of support related issues coming from the entire stacks from different projects. So it is very essential that the supported piece of software are there, and you have a right SLA-driven support available to you. And many a times, because of when you are about to release your software, you realize that there's a certain bug which has been identified, or there's something which is not working as it should be. And then the business puts the pressure back onto the technical team to really quickly fix that. And if you do not have a team behind you, or a support team, or a support engagement in place, getting the hot fixes and support patches quickly, then what happens is you lose the time to market, and you lose the confidence of your business team. And then it becomes where different teams start blaming each other. From the security and the upgrade side of thing, there are, what we have seen in our experience, the projects which are based on community edition, because there is not a very well-defined security patching and updates process in place, and there's a lot of security vulnerability that gets introduced into the software. There's a lot of conflict between various libraries across the various pieces of the stack, and as you move forward, that difference keeps on increasing, and suddenly when the audit happens, when a business or a third party does an audit, they find that there are a lot of vulnerability issues and the security issues that they highlight. Then it becomes a different project altogether to plug those gaps. So having the right a proper mechanism through which the security patches and upgrades are being filtered and being sent to you, which is available as part of the DXP. I think it is very critical for the business. Then when you are upgrading from one version to another, Liferay DXP provides a lot of automated upgrade tools and utilities to do that. So basically, whether it is migrating your database, there are tools available through which you can automatically do 80% of the stuff using the utilities and the tools which comes with DXP. Whereas in the C, you have to have that process done manually, and it is really time taking and prone to many errors. Also, when you many businesses they start with thinking that they will travel a certain distance with the Liferay Community Edition, and later on move to DXP. But what they do not realize is that because of the way the software tooling is there in the Community Edition versus the DXP edition, and the way the software, there's a difference in various database tables, schemas between CE and DXP. What they get into is they end up investing a lot of time and effort in rewriting the code when they're moving from, at some point of time, from CE to DXP. And by that time, a lot of technical debt they have accrued, which becomes difficult to manage. Last but not the least is the turnaround time. Businesses, what they are really after is to have a very quick turnaround in terms of launching various business initiatives. If this particular key performance indicator is not met, the business team and the management loses a lot of interest and motivation to keep investing in that particular project and keep investing the resources in there. So it is very important that you have a software where you have the right support, and it comes with a lot of pre-integrated and tested out-of-the-box functionalities. And because you don't want to reinvent the wheel by trying to figure out things and trying to resolve the bugs which have already been resolved as part of the DXP. And also there are some new offerings which actually makes the business case really appealing, which is, for example, DxP Cloud and Analytics Cloud, which helps businesses to really come out with their digital offerings very quickly and in a very defined manner, so that they can really reduce their turnaround time. And also, our experience has been that with the Liferay DXP, having, apart from support, what you get, Zolt has also mentioned that a customer portal where there's an excellent documentation available. There's a lot of discussions going around, and all the support ticket and the way the support tickets are resolved, and you get a you really get to know what has caused that problem and how it has been resolved. Apart from the trainings that you can get from Liferay University and the professional services you can avail as part of a DXP customer, I think this makes the complete package, and this is where lies the difference between how well and how fast you can launch your business initiatives in the market. Finally, I would like to, end up with what has been our learning working in the pit, working with a lot of customers with whom we have worked on community edition when we started working with Liferay very early on, and now with Liferay DXP. What our businesses are telling us, and we see often, is that the community edition expose the businesses with a lot of risk associated with that software. So the risk is related to the stability of the software. It is very difficult to always be very sure about the fact that it is going to be a very stable release, and the kind of bugs that comes in, you have to make sure that you are able to quickly resolve those bugs. There are a lot of unfinished functionalities where you have to invest your time and energy in making sure that they are developed end-to-end as part of your implementation. Then there are a lot of legal issues where there's a risk, and generally what we have found out with our customers, that whenever the audit happens, the auditors always identify that there is not proper legal protection available, and there's a lot of security issues. The documentation is not available in the way it should be, and the support is really ad hoc, where you can't be sure of that the support will come in a defined time period. So there are no SLAs defined as part of the community software. So these are some of the risks which are very real risk, and we see these coming out in audit. And by the time customer then decide to move on to from community edition to Liferay DXP, they realize that they have to do a lot of rework, and it will delay their plans of launching new initiatives. Then from the developer side of things, we have seen that majority of the developers, they would like to work on a Liferay DXP kind of environment, because the kind of tooling that is available, the kind of predictability they get in terms of documentation, support, answers to their queries, and the learning path, which is clearly defined, and you get an excellent resource for your learning. So majority of the developers would like to work in that environment. So it is very hard finding the developers who would stay committed to the community edition. Then maintaining and updating the knowledge base is really time consuming and is a difficult task, because it really depends upon the developers who are working, whether they maintain the right kind of documentations or not. And when these developers leave, it is very difficult to transfer the knowledge because of the lack of proper documentation in place and the way the development has been done. And finally, we have seen business, they face a lot of unpredictability in terms of timeline, because it is always a work in progress. Your teams are always busy fixing one thing or the other technically. So businesses do not get the timeline by when their initiatives will be launched. And then there is unpredictability in investment, because you never, the businesses are not sure of at what point of time they would need extra investment to resolve certain things in the community software. So what we strongly recommend as part of our advisory to the customer, that you can start with the community edition if you want to really get your budgets approved and your projects approved, but do not overinvest in community edition. You should not reach to a point where it will take a lot of time for you to switch over from community to DXP. And do not keep on piling up the technical debt, which really becomes very difficult to take care as you move forward. So I think this is all from my side. I think we are well on time. So over to you, Job.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you for definitely taking the time to have this. It's a lot of information to try to get into a short period of time. And so I really appreciate both you, Jolt, and sorry about that, both you, Jolt, and Vineet, for being on the call today. So we do have more questions than we actually have time to cover right now. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just ask you one question each. And then for the audience, if you still have some more questions, please do feel free to type it into the chat window, and we will seek to respond to those questions later on. We will definitely get back to you about that. So Jolt, the first question for you is, you said you've been a Liferay user, past, present, future, so you know the whole gamut, and you've talked about some of the differences between Liferay CE and Liferay DXP. So the question that's being asked is, what are some of the personal advantages that you have seen of using Liferay, the enterprise version, the DXP, as opposed to the CE? Like basically, how does one benefit as an individual? What's in it for you?
I think it is that you will be able to sleep better. Because you will know that your system is maintained by people who do understand, and you can always ask questions from support. So when you are stuck with a problem, then support will be able to help you to resolve it and fix it in a timely manner. You can also know that you have the latest security patches installed in your system, and you receive all the knowledge you actually need to be able to address these things. So I think personally, and so on the company side, it would be obvious for business reasons, but on the personal level, I do think that sleeping better is the benefit.
Thank you very much, Jolta. I appreciate the succinct answer. Being able to sleep well, and especially in these days and times, that's very important. Vineet, the question that's come in for you is, we already have a project running on CE. How does the process look like to migrate to DXP? You've already talked through some of the things between CE and DXP, but how would it look like to migrate to DXP from CE?
Okay. Before I answer that, I think your previous question, I would like to just say one thing. Personally, I would say you get the best of both worlds. So you get the best of open source and the benefit of a support. I'm able to play with the code. I could see the code. I could really build it. I could extend it as any other open source software, and but I get the kind of support which is required for that. So best of both worlds. I think personally, I would say that as Liferay DXP, what I get personally.
Great.
Now coming back to your to the question, I think moving from so as I said earlier also, that if you're moving from Liferay CE to DXP, it's very important not to go very far off in terms of developing the kind of functionalities on top of it, because then it really becomes a project in itself to upgrade from CE to DXP. And a lot of refactoring you need to do of the code when you are upgrading yourself, which is actually not required, unnecessary, and it really chokes up your bandwidth in terms of what developers could do in terms of new functionalities and other things. Then apart from that, there are a lot of compatibility issues also where a lot of your time gets, which is also unwarranted, because you have a lot of security fix packs and patches which comes in as part of DXP. Really make sure that your software is properly patched. What we have seen is when people move, a lot of time has to go into making sure that the software, the C software, is properly patched from the security point of view. And then last, I think from the tooling point of view, the kind of tooling that you get from as part of the Liferay DXP, it makes it so productive. The entire experience and the process is so productive that you really want to, you don't want to get swayed by technical integrations and the compatibility things that you have to worry about. So I think these are a few of the factors, and then certain issues related to, say, maybe the clustering, the databases. All these add up to a lot of time and energy when you are upgrading. So I think my advice would be start small, but once your POC is done or you approve the concept, quickly switch off to DXP.
Vineet, I love the way you ended that. Start small and quickly make the jump. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. I think we need to wrap up now. There are still a couple more questions that have come in, and so we will respond to those questions in the next day or two. But for anyone who still has further questions around this topic, please do feel free to reach out to either Vineet or to me, and we'll make some time to jump on a call with you.